Hello again, Stephen. Today we're going to be talking all about coffee. This is the second time I've made a coffee video on the channel, and it might seem weird to keep making coffee videos, especially since you don't drink coffee. Either way, coffee is what we're going to be talking about today, specifically brewing methods. So let's get right into it and talk about coffee brewing methods. Before we go any farther, we first need to put this into a little bit of context. We need to talk about where I've come from in order to talk about how I got to where I am now. So I've been an avid coffee drinker since my early teens, and growing up in my parents' house, we always just had a traditional electric coffee kettle that we would brew coffee in. When I went up to college, same thing. I got a little mini version to go in my dorm. And then second year of college, when you and I moved into an apartment together, that's when I first started to try something different. The first different kind of coffee brewing method that I tried was a French press. I borrowed my parents' coffee bean grinder, which was an old electric blade coffee bean grinder. And in terms of heating water, I was just using our glass Pyrex measuring cup by heating the water in the microwave. I stuck with the French press for a couple of years, and then Trish and I got married, and we went back to an electric traditional coffee pot for making the coffee because we got one as a wedding present. Did that for a couple of years, and then things really changed when we moved out to North Carolina at the end of 2014. When we first moved out there, I switched to a Keurig because Trish's sister and brother-in-law had an extra one that they gave to us. And then, this is how it happened to the best of my memory. We went to a coffee shop in Raleigh, North Carolina. I loved the coffee there, so I looked up the beans. And when I found the company's website that roasted the coffee beans, all of their website was talking about brewing in a Chemex. Up until now, living under a rock, I had never heard of a Chemex before. I looked it up, I was intrigued, so I bought one. And I was blown away. I instantly became obsessed with the Chemex methods. I was still using a glass Pyrex in the microwave, and for a time I was still using my parents' old blade grinder. I inevitably read that you're supposed to use a burr grinder to get the most consistent grind for your beans, so I bought a little manual burr grinder. Broke after a couple of months, and so I bought another one, and I didn't change up my method again until the beginning of 2016. We knew at the end of that year I was going to be quitting my job, and we were going to do travel nursing at the beginning of 2017. Every couple of months we were going to be loading up all of our stuff and moving to a different place. And in coming to terms with this new ideology, a 6-cup glass Chemex did not fit in the framework of our new kitchen. The first thing I tried was just a plain, cheap pour-over set. It was a little metal wire stand that would sit on top of your cup, and then a mesh filter that you could reuse would sit in there. It didn't make the best coffee, nothing near the Chemex. And after a year, I noticed that a sort of metallic taste was creeping into the coffee, and there was a little bit of rust forming in the filter, so that was out. I went back to a French press for a little bit of time, but eventually I found my way back to Chemex. I just couldn't stay away. So I got this. Some water stain. This is the mini 3-cup Chemex. I thought this would be a better option for going on the road. Still using a manual burr grinder. We got rid of the glass measuring cup, swapped it for this, which I used for a short period of time, rubber, portable. And then I realized you don't get a very precise pour using this. You look at everybody brewing a pour over or a Chemex cup of coffee, they're using a kettle to pour the water in. The only real reason I chose this was because it was smaller than the other kettles. But the story does not stop there. That is not my current brewing method. Let's talk about the pieces one at a time. First of all, the grinder. Grinding coffee manually is no joke. For many people, making coffee is a very relaxing experience, and when you have to get up every morning and for 5 minutes grind your coffee beans manually, it starts to really detract from the experience because it takes unwanted effort and it takes unwanted time. And so I broke down last year and got an electric burr grinder. This is by far not the nicest one out there, but I chose this because it is so much smaller than the big burr grinders out there. We have a little bit more room for packing now that we have to travel with a little bit more stuff with having the baby, but I still wanted to find something with a small form factor. All right, next. For heating my water now, I got an electric kettle. Not just any electric kettle, the Fellow Stag EKG kettle, which is one of the most highly recommended kettles out there. Not cheap, but it's known for being aesthetically pleasing and for heating water quickly and accurately. It was taking so much time to heat the water in the morning. With this, pour the water in, turn it on, and set your desired temperature, and you've got the water heated in about 5 minutes to whatever temperature you want it to be. It's so much bulkier than the other kettles, but I've been so happy with this kettle so far that I'm confident I made the right decision in this case, I think. And the next thing I changed was the brewing mechanism itself. You changed the brewing mechanism after you went on and on about how much you love the Chemex. I did. So I love the Chemex, and the smaller one does travel better. It's still glass. It's still a breakable object. There are a lot of different pour-over methods out there, so I couldn't help but feeling if I kept looking, I could find an option that would give me a similar quality of cup to the Chemex. And so this is what I got. This is a Hario V60, a very well-known apparatus, about as well-known as the Chemex. It uses a pour-over method very similar to the Chemex. So you just take this, put a filter in here, put this on your cup. You might recognize this. I made a video about this. This is the Fellow Carter Everywhere mug. I use this as a carafe, so I actually brew the coffee into this. This makes good coffee. I've been very happy with this so far, and one of the best things, this is plastic. And that, I think, will do it for the video today, Stephen. I'm not gonna brew a cup on camera today because I already drank coffee. It's about 2 a.m. right now. These videos are not easy to light in a completely dark apartment. It is what it is. Stephen, I hope that you and Harvey are staying safe. As always, I hope that you make a video on our channel soon. In the meantime, I will talk to you later.